Are we on? Hello, sick people, or people who are ill, or people who aren't there. Everybody say hello. Hi. So because Gordon loves you, I'm going to actually put this onto Moodle so that you don't have to do this. I mean, you still got to do it because I'm not going to do it all for you. I'm not going to spoon feed you. Here you go. But you still got to do the work. So, triads. Here we go. Okay. If we have a score, and it looks like this in the treble clef, the word triad, everybody, what does tri mean? Three. Three means that there's going to be how many notes? Three notes in a triad. Now, I'm choosing a C major triad because it's the easiest one for me to explain. Why is C major the easiest key for me to explain a concept in? No sharps. Because C major has no sharps and no flats. Okay, you got that, D-man? All right. So C major has no sharps and no flats. Now, as always, you are going to write the key signature at the top, whether you're doing intervals or scales or triads. You should be doing this step. You got to Nancy Drew that, Hardy Boy it, and make sure that you get the answer right. Okay, if you need to murder she wrote it, I'm fine with that too. Just depends who you want to be. Now, if all of these notes are correct within the key signature, this is just a major triad. So we go major triad. Let's draw it again. If we want to turn this into a minor triad, all that we have to do is lower the third. We go to 1, 2, 3. This is the third. We lower it by one semitone. And now it's minor. Okay? What kind of triad is this, everybody? Major. Let's try that one more time for the online audiences. What kind of triad is this, everybody? Major. See how much fun they're having here without you? And this is what kind of triad? Minor. I'll accept that. All right. Now, if we think about our intervals from last week, we can basically go from any regular key down one step to minor. Do we all agree? Yeah. We moved this note down one step and it became minor. Now, if we want to go to diminished, all we have to do is keep the minor third in there and add a diminished fifth. So all we did was we lowered first and second note, or the third and the fifth in the triad. Major, minor, minor plus this equals diminished. Okay? Is this clear? Yes. Is this clear? Yes. 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 Diminished, we usually write it like a degree sign, but just put dim. Just put DIM. Because as you know, from my stellar performance today marking your guys' quizzes, this and this can be really confusing, especially if you're like, you got old person day 6 brain, day 6 of work brain. Okay, so we went from here, down 1 to minor, down 2 to diminished. So then, for those of you who haven't looked at this yet, so for those of you who don't know, I want to see if you can guess, how do you think we go from major, maybe I'll do this instead, because this makes more sense. Major, minor, okay. So, I should be consistent. Madge. Madge, I soaked in it. Remember Cynthia? Remember that commercial? Madge. So, if I want to go from major to augmented, who thinks they know what we need to do? Leo. Put a sharp on the third. You're close. Correct. All we do is we keep it exactly how a major would be, but we put an augmented fifth. So check it. I need another color. Purple. Is that confusing? Green. All right. So this, so we have diminished and we have augmented. Here is where they lie. This is diminished, and this makes it augmented. Okay? This makes it major, and this makes it minor. So in a nutshell, this is how we do triads. Major goes with whatever the key signature is. Minor, you lower the third. Diminished, you make it into a minor, and then you lower the top to make it diminished. Augmented, you leave it as major, and you just raise the upper note to make it augmented. Does this make sense to everybody? Yeah. Mostly? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. Let's do another one. But I'm going to make it way more difficult. And don't worry, if anyone makes a mistake, we all die. But you're not here, so it doesn't impact you. Does it, D-Man? Okay, so let's stick with treble clef, just because we don't want to make it more complicated than it needs to be, so we won't do it in bass clef, we'll do it in treble. Let's go with maybe, let's go with E major. So, E major. What's the very first thing you're going to do? Yes, that's why you're my favorite. But of course, we don't have favorites here because that would not be, cool or ethical. But you're my favorite. Okay, so we go F, C, G, and D sharp. How do you know this? Because you have a circle of fifths in front of you, don't you, Cash? Right? Yes, Cash? Okay, so Cash, you have your circle of fifths in front of you, and you get this, F, C, G, and D. Now, we want to make the 4 different triads. So, major, minor, diminished, and augmented. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put in the notes, and we're going to look at what they are and see if they're in the key signature. So is E in our key signature? So it stays as an E. Is G in our key signature? Yes. So what do we have to make it? Sharp. A sharp. Is B in our key signature? No. No. So we just leave it. This is a major triad. If you understand, say yes. Yes. If you really understand, say yes. Yes. That's right. Okay. So now, who can tell me, how do we make this into a minor? We have to lower the third. So if we have a sharp, how do we lower a sharp? A natural. But there's no key signature, so we don't actually have to write the natural because there's no key signature that we have to natural. So you just leave it like this. This is a minor third. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Who's with me?
Yeah.
All right, good.
If there was a key signature, would we put the natural?
Yeah, if there was a key signature here, all of the F, C, G, and D's would be sharp, and if you want it to not be a sharp, you have to put the natural. Good question, Liam. That's why you're my favorite. All right. Even though we don't have favorites, right, Brian?
Well, I have a question.
Oh, see, I was just about to say, but you're my favorite. And then you ruined it, Brian, yes.
So we have a key signature and then we put in like a sharp, then everything after that is a sharp?
So if we had a key signature here, and you don't put a natural here, this would be a sharp
Right.
for the whole song.
You have a bar line. If you have key signature but have a bar line, so does it cancel everything?
Nope. It means for the
It
entire
means
song,
it's like
they're all
a
sharps.
key signature and it's a sharp, and then you put a natural, then everything after that is a natural.
Everything in this bar would be a natural until the bar line, and then it's back to the key signature. Okay? Great question, Brian. That's why you're my favorite. Okay, so now, to go from minor to diminished, which note do we change? Incorrect. Who said the fifth? See, Chuck, that's why you're my favorite. So, Chuck, right now this is a minor triad, right? How do we turn this into a diminished? Which note do we adjust? The B. Did you call me a B? Here we go. And which way do we go? Is diminished up or down? Down. So we just give it a flat. This is now diminished because we lowered this note, should be a G sharp, and we lowered this note to a B flat. We now have diminished. Okay? Everybody say diminished.
Diminished.
Everybody say, we love you, Miss Hannigan.
We love you, Miss Hannigan.
If you've seen Annie, you'll understand I'm the Carol Burnett, okay? Just so you know. All right. Look it up, it'll make more sense. Okay, so now, to make augmented, raise the roof. Raise the roof. What?
It's not an augment.
That's right. And that's why you're my favorite, Ava. So all we do, we keep it as a major. So what do we have to do first?
Right.
Is this a major?
Add the sharp.
Add the sharp. See, Tris, that's why you're my favorite. We got to make it a major first. And then we raise the top note. So it's got to be major first, and then you raise the fifth to an augmented fifth. Okay? So, what kind of triad is this?
Major.
One person over there was really enthusiastic, but kind of not. She was like, major, but at least she said it. Let's try it one more time for our online audiences. What kind of triad is this?
Major.
What kind of triad is this?
Minor.
What is this?
Diminished.
What is this?
Augmented.
What is this?
Upset that you're not here.
All right, so that's the first part of our class. And we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back and we're going to do some more. Right after this commercial from this, our following sponsor. If you want a good quality cookie, go for Western Family Brand. No, don't eat Western Family Brand cookies. They're okay. But they were 2 for $4, which is why I bought them for this class. Because you're all my favorites. And scene.